Diaries of a Madman. Chapter 187. Part 2 of 5. I know. That's why I put in the effort. And to be honest, I quite believe you'll want to hear my offers. It's plural now. Again, join me. Think of all the suffering they've wrought upon you. Think of how most species treat you, even now. With you, me, your daughter, and the elementals, we could wreak havoc on those who abused you so. Maybe even kill off all life. At that point, it would be easy to get you a soul so you and your little filly can live together peacefully for eternity. With no conflict left in the world, I die. And sign the death knell for every race? I don't think so. Then my second offer. Let me be a crew member on your ship. No. How's that even an offer? Are you kidding? He asked with a scoff. I'm monstrously powerful. With me at your beck and call, you could get anything done. The answer is still an absolute and hard no. It was always a long shot. Now, for my final offer. Give me Athena's book and I will make you a man again. Sorry, I'm not gay. It took him a few seconds to respond. I actually don't follow. If you're going to force me to date you, I'm not going to do it as a guy. So go fuck yourself. Fuck me yourself, you coward, he said. I suddenly felt a throbbing erection pressing against my back. No. Okay. The erection disappeared. So I take it you really don't want your cock back. Obviously I do, but also obviously, I'm not turning over any humans to you. I don't care if they're both horrifying nut jobs. If you want to pick on a human, go visit Arachne in South America. I actually did recently, just to pinch her cheeks. She was so excited to see me. Yeah, I bet. So, you said that was your final offer. We done here. You are just determined to make this a bad first date, aren't you? I don't wanna date you, so, yeah. He sighed. And I went through all this trouble to bring you here. Well, this place is certainly pretty nice, but it could do with less genocidal monsters here. But then I'd be here all by myself. Oh haha. I think we both know you're guilty of far more mass killing than I am. Well, I don't mean to brag, but you're certainly quite right. It's just so fun to toy with the mortal races. But don't worry, Eris. You'll always be my favorite. He ended by snuggling me up close, which actually felt kinda nice. Now that his touch didn't hurt, his body was kinda comfy. Super fucked up and creepy, but comfy. So where are we on being done with this? I ask. Come now, Eris. I know you inside and out. I'm quite aware you find this body of mine comfy. Great, and now he's in my head. And always have been. I'm just not always actually rooting around in there like those nasty elementals you have. To be quite honest, I don't really know how to date. And I doubt you know much about it either. How about we just push this forward to never and you drop me back off at my place? I'm afraid never is just too far away, he sighed. We'll match schedules later. For now, since you insist, I'll take you back. I'd also like the clothes back, if possible. It seemed like Mooney put a lot of work into them. Of course I'd be happy to give your pretty dress back, Eris. On one condition, that is, his hands wrapped around me and he spun me around so he could kiss me. His disturbing, insane eyes stared me down while his tongue toyed with mine. After way too long, he finally pulled back with a grin. And how was that for a first kiss? Please just kill me, I whispered. Wonderful. His talons snapped and I appeared back in Celestia's throne room, completely dry and back to wearing clothes. What the absolute foo? I was cut off by a hug from a giant white furry mass. Thank the light you're safe. Celestia said. I was so worried about you, Nav. So I take it her conversion is complete. You take it correctly, Aqua said. Flo will be remaining with her for now. How do you feel, Celestia? I ask. Wonderful. It's like all my worries have just been washed away. Thank you for avoiding violence, Nav. I will be delighted to work with you and the others to bring the world forward. Man. I cannot believe this actually worked. Is there something wrong? Celestia asked, finally pulling back slightly. I hugged her back. Nope. I was just expecting you to somehow break free at the last minute and try to fight. Well, there is no worry of that now, she warmly replied. That old witch has been washed away for good. Fucking score. If I hadn't learned that I might be stuck married to Discord forever, this would be my best day in Equestria so far. Cool. My arms finally pulled back, but she continued hugging me. So where's Twilight and Luna? They went to look for you, but I'm not sure where they decided to look. Hey. Then I guess I'll just go back home for now. You don't have to go, she quickly said. I haven't had any petitioners, so I was considering taking lunch. You are welcome to join me. Only if you'll stop hugging me. I'd be happy to stop, for now. She finally released me, taking a huge weight off my shoulders. Walk with me, Navi. We both started walking to the big doors. I have all of her memories. It's weird. In some ways, it's like I'm watching events happen to another. And there are no emotions attached to any of them. That is a side effect of the personality wipe, Aqua said in hopefully both our heads. To destroy a personality but keep the memories, we have to strip the emotions from the memories. How you feel during the events of your life is what dictates your personality in the end. Remove the feelings and all that's left is a slideshow reel and a husk of a personality. Since we didn't completely wipe everything, you'll occasionally find a few memories with emotions attached. And at the moment, Flo is going back through some of your memories and fabricating emotions as she goes. You'll become more complete and stable as time goes on. How unstable is she now? I slowly ask. I feel just peachy. Sunbutt said, wrapping a wing around me to pull me in close. She's considerably more stable than you are at the moment, Aqua said. That's not very nice at all, Celestia said. Nav has been through a lot. It's not her fault that her mental state is abnormal. Yeah man, shit's been a hell of a ride. I just got told that I'm destined to be Discord's wife. I think I know just the way to stop that, Celestia said. You should marry someone else instead. Then he couldn't possibly marry you. While I do appreciate the thought, I don't think it would bother him. Apparently I can stop it and free myself by obtaining a soul. Then we'll have to see what we can do about getting you one, she said with a nod. So how was your trip to the bunker? Fun. Aqua, flash her the memories of it. Done. Celestia didn't even miss a beat. The human perspective is so strange. Your eyes are in different locations and see things oddly. It's good to see that your leadership is improving. She paused for a few moments before nodding. Very, very interesting. It will take me some time to peruse through everything, but I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on what we can do with what you found. Once Brooke and Aqua get here, they'll be able to start working on ways to use the information we picked up. I have all kinds of ideas. Wanna help me form a royal academy next to the Everfree? Of course. What will it be teaching? Human science and whatnot. Also monster slaying, so I can start cleansing the forest and turning it into something useful. Definitely science and critical thinking. Oh, and rune working. Probs a whole bunch of other shit. I'll draw up the lesson plan with Twiggles later. She giggled and finally pulled her wing away. It'll be wonderful to finally really work with you, Navi. Yeah, I'm pretty great. Aqua snorted. You are, Celestia replied with a nod. And a true hero. You know, it might be time to make you an Umbral Knight. That might be for the best, I said. That way, I can directly counter you if you ever somehow revert. Don't worry, my little human, she warmly said. I'll keep you safe from that monster. Yet, I'm gonna need you to not pull that my little whatever bullshit with me. I'll consider it. I do so enjoy making you flustered. Your pout is so cute. I'm not cute, I'm fierce. She turned her head to look me up and down. In that dress, I'd say you look more sexy than fierce. I assume it's a gift from Moonbeam. You assume correctly. And yet, this dress definitely makes me feel pretty hot. I can't wait to tear it off of you. What? She flinched slightly. What? Flo, did you not erase her sex drive? Why would I do that? She answered with Celestia's mouth. That would just be cruel. Well, I can't fuck her now. Why not? Celestia asked. After taking a moment to consider what we were actually talking about, I decided to look up and down the hall. The only ones around were the aqua-controlled guards that were following us. Since it was clear, I said, I'm not going to brainwash you and then sleep with you. That's just... I don't know, wrong or whatever. I'm a complete person and a consenting adult, Celestia replied. We were doing it plenty before the brainwash. I see no reason not to continue it after. And this time, I won't purposefully try to feminize you all the time in an effort to help you adjust. Little blessings, I muttered. So, after lunch, how about we take a short little trip to my chambers, she sweetly asked. I'm gonna pass. She sighed and hung her head. After a few seconds, Aqua cleared her throat. So you'll give Luna a sec. You shut your whore mouth, I said aloud. You gave Luna a second chance. Celestia whispered. I mean, in her dreams. I suppose you did always find her more attractive. I didn't brainwash Luna, I replied, flicking her back. No, you didn't. You just made her a vassal, which means she's unable to turn you down anyway. What was that you said about relationships with those you control? That they were bad. Which is why I don't have a relationship with her. I'm just throwing her a bone in her dreams every now and then. For your information, it's actually only been once, so far. We finally got to her dining room. She opened the door with magic and graciously allowed me to enter first. I took the seat closest to her big-ass chair, which she promptly plopped into. You may have had me brainwashed, but you did not pick the personality that replaced the original. And if my personality happens to mesh well with yours, I see no reason not to take advantage of it. This career has a considerable amount of stress and I would be quite pleased with your assistance to help relieve it. Look, I'll consider it. It seems super squicky to me, but I will consider it. At this point, it's not like I really have much in the way of standards anyway. I understand that your mind is unwell. Perhaps it might be best for us to avoid it after all. Maybe. Though I'm sure I'll find someone else to fill my bed. She sighed and looked away. Her horn finally lit up and a small bell went off. Her paid slaves started carting food in. They fucked right off when the table was full. You don't have to sound so happy about it. I never sound happy about anything. That's not true at all, she said with a smirk. You get this smug tone when you get your way. It's one of the few times there's ever any life in your voice, which is one reason the old me found it so easy to manipulate you. Interesting. It is, of course, something about which you need not worry with me. If I want you to do something, I will tell you. I see no reason to try to force your hoof. And I'll do my best to stop purposefully pushing your buttons just for quick laughs. That made her giggle. By all means, continue. Though I do warn you that I will not be so easily riled. And many of the buttons might have changed. After all, you can't accuse me of being a tyrant anymore. I wasn't accusing anybody of anything, I said. I was just making a simple statement of fact. The honey-drizzled fruit was calling my name, so I finally started eating. So tell me, Nav. Do you think you rule my kingdom now? Oh hell no. That's exactly why I wanted to brainwash you instead of kill you. I never wanted to rule Celestia, which I couldn't drill into the head of your predecessor. I do think I'm now in a position where I'm not in danger of having my head chopped off anymore. And I also think I'm now in a position where being listened to is a guarantee, not a false hope. But I don't expect you to obey me. Celestia is yours. It's good to know that you understand your place, she warmly replied, reaching over to bop me. K. So, are you considering a diet now? No. Just like that, she shoved an entire cupcake into her mouth. I want to be able to hold you down more easily while I toy with you later. Hot. Gotta stay positive, I replied with a nod. We both know you'll give in, Nav, she said, floating over a banana. It's only a matter of time. I mean, yet. But I do have a rebuttal. You said before that you were a complete person. That's false. Flow is still adding emotions to memories. That means you're not quite done yet. Fine. I don't feel any different now than when I first awoke, though. She unpeeled the banana and used it to pantomime some very lewd actions, all while staring me in the eyes. When it got old, I grinned and said, hot, but wrong medium. You forget I have a. She finally swallowed the entire banana whole, making her eyes slam wide open. Holy shit! Was that on purpose? It wasn't, she croaked. I suppose I had that coming. Today is technically my first time using magic. It's finicky, but I'll get used to it. And you're right, I did forget. Allow me to rectify my mistake. One of the things on the fruit platter was half a cantaloupe. She floated it up to her face and shoved her muzzle inside, staring me dead in the eyes once more. When she had me transfixed, she moaned and I started hearing all kinds of squelching, pleasant-sounding noises coming from the fruit. Soon enough, juices started leaking down her neck. See, that's much better, I said, adjusting myself slightly. She giggled and closed her eyes, slowing the noises down. I could hear her loudly gulping. I was kinda hoping Flo would make you more reserved than this, though. Really? Aqua asked. After how far you corrupted her? I guess that's fair. God, I bet she made Celestia even more perverted. When Celestia finally set the rind down, I saw that she had eaten all the actual melon away. Wow! She licked some of the sweet liquid off her face with a grin. That really hits the spot. It's almost as sweet as you, my little Navi. So yeah, while I did find that pretty hot, can you not do it again? Oh, fine. One of her hooves reached over and somehow pinched my cheek, despite the hoof being covered in metal and being, you know, a fucking hoof. Anything for you. Good, 'cause I'm also gonna need you to never pinch either of the cheeks on my face again. Ah, I don't get to push any of your buttons. No. That's also a pretty huge part of why I brainwashed you. Day. She looked away again. Oh. I thought we were to be equal. Obviously not. You're the one in charge of Celestia. That def's put you way above me. And yet you are giving me orders about what I can and cannot do. You're the one who literally just said you'd do anything for me. That doesn't mean I can't think it's unfair. You get to push my buttons all you want and I can't do anything back? That just makes me your royal punching bag. I stared at her in silence for a few long seconds before nodding. Yeah, pretty much. I offered to stop, but you told me not to. That isn't fair, Flo said, taking over Celestia's corporeal form. You can't just dictate all of her behaviors. You lost the right to do that when you refused to marry her. You refused to marry me. Celestia yelled, pulling back. Why? I thought we covered this. If brainwashing you for sex would be bad, brainwashing you for marriage would be super fucked up. Which is totally fair, Flo said. But we were discussing a bunch of pretty super fucked up options, so it seemed prudent to put everything on the table. So how is me telling her what she can and can't do unfair? I ask. I think I earned the right to be picky. Because I've never done anything wrong to you. Celestia said. I deserve a fair first chance, same as anybody else. And that includes the right to act how I want to whom I want. I understand that you may find some of my behaviors to be distasteful, but this is what you agreed to when you chose to brainwash me instead of killing me. Please, Nav. Will you allow me to be me? Fine, but don't be a bitch about it. I would never. One of her wings flapped over and bopped me on the nose. Just give it time, Navi. I'm sure you'll come to love the new me. I highly doubt it, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. That's all I can ask. She pulled her wing back with a big ol' grin. I'm curious, Nav. Have I passed your inspection? Yes. As far as I can tell, you have no traces of evil. Flo and I are both delighted to hear it. And with that, we finally continued obtaining sustenance. When I had my fill, I sat back and just watched Celestia. To be fair, I had been glancing at her off and on, but now I was pretty blatantly staring. Is something the matter? She finally asked. There's not a thing out of place, I said. So far, all of your mannerisms are just like hers. It's almost eerie. I am her, she replied. A few personality quirks were just expunged. That isn't true, Aqua said. Celestia was completely erased and painstakingly rebuilt. This is Flo's precision at work. I am her, Celestia very firmly said. I am Celestia. Yes, you are, I said. And you can never understand how grateful I am that you are. How did you feel about who I was, Nav? She asked. Truly. I felt a wide variety of things about who you were. For the most part, I was afraid of you. Everyone in the country was. You were afraid. I remember knowing that. And I remember using it. Oh, yes. You most definitely did. There were a few times when you threatened to imprison me for life if I didn't do as you ask. I have not had much time to go through my memories. I see that I have much to fix. I'm not afraid of you, now, I said. Yes you are. You're uncertain of me. Uncertain of how I'll act. Of how good of a princess I'll be. You're afraid that brainwashing me was the wrong choice. And most of all, you're afraid that I'll revert. Killing me was the only way for you to immediately alleviate that fear, but you thankfully couldn't bring yourself to do it. That would be such a waste, I said. I knew you could be so much more. You're right. I am worried. But I know that should you ever fail, we'll be there to help you. The mare I used to be was a fool, Celestia said, smiling. She never should have abused you. The mare you used to be was far too paranoid, I said. And could never bring herself to truly trust someone else. She was a complete control freak who turned herself into a god. I wanted to help her. I wanted her to change. But she was just too far gone. I couldn't let her threaten my people. I definitely couldn't let her threaten Taya. You said you felt a wide variety of things for me. What else was there? Lust was pretty high up there. As you said, there were times we had an active sex life. There were definitely times I was angry at you, and times I was worried about you. Sometimes, I admired you. Others, I hated you. I'm not sure if you've been through all the memories yet, but you've been a very significant part of my life for the past several years, usually for the worst. I have been going through the memories. Flo is assisting. I have one more question, if you don't mind. It's personal and you don't have to answer. You can ask as many questions as you want. I won't necessarily answer all of them and I might eventually get bored and wander off, though. Did you ever love me? I don't know. There were times I thought that maybe I did. But you and Cadence both told me that love was a choice, not a feeling. And no offense to you, but there's no way I would have ever chosen to love that monster. Whatever I felt for the mare you once were, it wasn't love. I know you expect me to be shocked or perhaps perturbed by that, but I appreciate your honesty. I intend to ask similar questions to many others who were close to the mare I was. I will not apologize for what she did, but I will swear an oath to do better. You will not fear me when I am done, Navarone. And you will never consider me a monster again. Will I love you? If love is a choice, that's up for you to decide. That seemed like a fitting way to end a conversation, so I stopped staring and let her get back to inhaling food. When her fat ass was finally stuffed, her horn lit up and a small pouch appeared on the table. This is for you. What is it? I ask, reaching over for the thing. 30 cherry blossom seeds. It should be enough to last you for a while. Excellent. I need to give one to Taya immediately. Yes, it would be wise to let her hide one, Celestia said. I would also like one. I can arrange that. I'm going to make one today and then go into the coma tomorrow. I would like you to do it here, in the palace. You will be at your most vulnerable, so it's only natural you should be where it's safest. Yeah, I've been considering where to do it for a while. It's quite the conundrum. Well, now you have your answer, she said with a nod. I'll have a place prepared for you in my chambers. I was actually considering doing it in Athena's book. She and Hera have offered to watch over me and help me heal. Heal? Yeah. I guess I didn't mention that I'll also be chopping off my wings and tail. What? How could you? Probably with the help of magic, if I had to guess, I said. I'm going to ask that they put me in the coma first. Nav, chopping off the parts of you that you don't like is not the right answer. It is when Discord told me up front that he's turning me into a monster like him and that if my transformation finishes before I get a soul, I become his plaything for eternity. So it's not really that difficult of a choice. This shit has got to go and I figure Athena and Hera are the two who are most likely to be able to put me back together. I disagree. Moonbeam and I together could help you regrow anything faster than any amount of crazed humans. There's no telling what they might do to you while you're unconscious. You will be safe and sound in my care. I need to build up trust with them. Letting them take care of me might help. I'll talk it over with Athena before deciding. I will have a place made ready for when you make the right decision. Now, shall we head back to my room for an after-lunch tryst? I'm afraid not. I'm gonna head to my pad and shove one of these seeds in my belly button. I'm also gonna bop my cute little maid. Way to make a mare jealous, the princess sighed. Well yeah. The more jealous I make you now, the more fun I'll have later when I finally give in. Oh ho, now I see. Well, I've no interest in playing that particular game. She finally got back to her hooves. I will continue asking until you either give in or tell me to stop, but I have no more interest in feeling jealousy for you until we have something about which to be jealous. Fair enough. I hopped up and followed her out. I'll see you eventually, sunbutt. Farewell for now, my little Navi. She started walking back to her throne room. The exit I needed was that way, but I walked the other to avoid having to talk to her more. When I got bored of walking through halls, I found a door leading to a wall and jumped off the side. From there, flying to my house was mostly a breeze. The only issue was how fucking frigid it was. I tried letting myself in, but the ingrates locked me out of my own house. The big OL knockers on the front of the door were pretty loud and my lovely maid was right at the door. Welcome to my lady. Sup? She jumped forward and hugged me. I wrapped her up in my arms and walked in, then kicked the door shut behind me. It's pretty fucking cold out there. What are you doing back in Canterlot? Well, I live here. End part 2.